talk about Tyson and Ngannou, as we've mentioned it a couple of times already. You said several times it's a big event. I don't think anyone denies that. Tyson's going to make a huge amount of money. From a sporting competitive perspective, what sort of odds would you give on Ngannou winning the fight?
Look, I think I'm not going to make anything up or tell any porcupines. I genuinely believe that Tyson beats any of the heavyweights at this moment in time out there. I think he beats all of them, whoever they are. And I think Ngannou, who, is according to the Guinness Book of Records and his publicists and so forth, is the hardest punching fighter out there. He has the hardest punch. It's been recorded. So we know if he can whack. Question is, can he land his punch? And more importantly, how's this fight going to pan out? Because I can't see him outboxing Tyson, because Tyson, I think, outboxes all of them. So he's going to have to come and let all the bombs go. He's going to have to let those punches go. So it's going to be exciting. I think it'll be exciting. It's going to be the biggest event I've been involved in, because it's a broad spectrum. Last week when we announced it on Twitter, Tyson was trending at #1 and Ngannou was trending at #2. So there is that massive audience there. It's not just this narrow audience. This is a worldwide audience of people who like martial arts, they like boxing, and obviously they like events. And they're going to tune into this because it is going to be a great event. It's the opening of the Riyadh season, which is a multi-million pound sequence of events, and this is the first one. I mean, it's a huge thing in the Middle East, well, in the world, with some fantastic events on there, and Tyson's opening it up. So you can imagine the promotion and everything that's going to be around this. And when we get the press conference on, I hope in the next week or so, you get the two guys together. It's going to start, actually, there's going to be some reality, and there's going to be a lot of questions that once people want to ask, they can ask both the guys involved. This is a massive opportunity for sport in general, that these guys can open up a new avenue to make big fights in Saudi. We haven't got to go to one place. It now shows there are other ways to put these fights together and make them happen for phenomenal money for guys who are in the most dangerous sport of all. It's a brilliant event. This is an absolutely massive event.
Can you understand, though, why some people are frustrated that the WBC heavyweight champion will go at least a year, it seems now, without defending the title, without having a traditional boxing opponent?
Well, what can you do? We've been trying to do that with first of all, they've got to make commercial sense. You can't have, for example, Ruiz saying, I want 20 million, and that's the only way I'm coming over it. So that's a dead duck. And you also got a situation where fighting for the title is now doesn't seem to be what guys want to do. Joshua would much rather, he's just had a warm-up fight, would much rather now go and fight a guy that Tyson's beaten, rather than fight for the WBC title on a 60-40 basis. Think about all the nonsense they come out with, the excuses. We went down that road last December. We wasted a lot of time on it. Only for one person, on the other side was honest about it, saying he never thought it was going to happen. He never had a trainer at the time, which we was unaware of, that he'd fired his trainer, that he didn't have a trainer, etc. And had we known that, we wouldn't have wasted a lot of time on it. And that led us to where we, to making a fight with Chisora. What can we do? The fight everybody wants to see, including us, including Tyson, wanted, because he called it out. He made the offer and they accepted it. It was USYK, and they walked away. And they walked away because they thought they was walking away to better and bigger things. That's why they did it. And they are where they are now, and we are where we are. And this is a game changer. It's a game changer as a massive event, and it's a game changer as to what happens in the future with these big fights in Saudi.
We spoke to Dempsey McKean yesterday, who's fighting Filip Hrgovic on the Joshua White rematch bill. And he was saying, Fury can do what he wants. He's earned that right, and he's going to make a lot of money against Ngannou. But there were fights out there that could have been made. Certainly not Joshua and Usyk, as we've gone through. But, you know, no disrespect, kind of lower level guys that he could have defended the belt against. Do you accept that, and that Ngannou just made more commercial sense than some of those fights?
Well, the Ngannou thing is an event, and it's as I say, it takes what we're doing to a different level. And I think a lot of people are missing the point. For us, it's a massive event, huge event. It makes a lot of money. You know, both of the guys will generate big, huge income from this because it has that appeal. But for me, it's another avenue to make these fights happen. We're not going to be sit. We're not. Look, the fights for me, I would like in an ideal world, let's get them on, put them on at Wembley. But we've now got Saudi and we've got interest from Saudi from various people there who want to put the biggest event in boxing on there. Well, it hasn't worked this year, despite our efforts to make it at Wembley. It's not happened, and despite what they thought was going to happen by going and signing up with a group over there, it still hasn't happened because we never had an offer. Now we are in a position, because what we've done with His Excellency and the Dotzer, I believe, providing Tyson comes through, which I think he will do, we will then be in a position, I hope, to force these things to happen, to force it to happen. So that's what the game is for us. That's the way forward, how I see it, because up to now, everything's been unsuccessful, and it's been down to one thing: expectation level. Expectation level. You know, Tyson was willing to make these fights at Wembley. He's not been sitting there waiting for the big promise of the money elsewhere to do it. He was saying, let's do them now. He was right again, like he was right about Joshua wouldn't take the fight. He was right again that they weren't going to happen this year. He was right. You can all your haters all can say whatever you like. The fact of the matter is, he's probably the one who's had his, had the foresight and to see that this wasn't going to happen how everyone was saying it was going to. He's been right. But we are where we are now in a big event, massive event in the fight business. And I'll take that cross all the rises in the fight business.
So working with His Excellency and Dr. Rakan, is that just for this fight as far as it goes now?
No, no. I mean, there'll be, as I say, Tyson comes through. There'll be other fights there. The conversation are that they're very, they love Tyson. They like Tyson. They see what he is. He's, I know I'll keep banging on about it, but this is the guy that broke box office records for heavyweight fights in Vegas. This is the guy that broke the Wembley box office for any event. This is the guy that, when we made the purse bid to fight Dillian last year, broke the record for a purse bid. It just gets bigger and bigger. This is the guy who's got a series launching on Netflix in next month. I mean, he's a worldwide star. He's not he's a WBC champion. He's a boxer, but he's more than a boxer. He is an absolute celebrity, and that's how it is. And that's reflecting in now where he's going. I mean, he's doing something that none of these guys could do.
So if he keeps working with that Saudi group, as you've just indicated, Usyk's obviously got this deal with Skills Challenge. Could that make things actually harder to put together because you've got two rival Saudi groups now?
Well, it's up to Usyk, isn't it? Because don't fight. No, I mean, it's really simple. If Usyk doesn't fight Tyson, if that doesn't happen, then he's got his obligations. Tyson will have his obligations, and then he'll have his, and his next one will be one of the fighters you just talked about, provided he gets through Daniel Dubois. And I don't think he's going to get through Daniel Dubois.